All right, this video we're looking at animal studies of attachment. In this one we're focusing on Lorenz. So there's two that you're going to be looking at: Lorenz's study of imprinting with geese and Harlow's study of contact comfort with rhesus monkeys, but more on that later. So before we get started on Lorenz's research, it's really important to understand what he was actually investigating. He was investigating imprinting, which is a really interesting observation that we see in particular types of birds. So imprinting refers to an innate, i.e. unlearned or biological, readiness of certain animals to develop a strong bond with the mother, which takes place during a specific time in development. This is the critical period. If it doesn't occur during this time, it is unlikely to happen, if not impossible. And so this is almost like a window of time, a window of opportunity in which this developmental milestone can take place. And if it passes without occurring, then it's very, very unlikely to occur. I'm going to show you some videos of imprinting so you can see exactly what I mean. It's very, very cute. Basically, it's these young birds, in this case geese, that Lorenz was studying, which attach or imprint on the first large moving object that they see. And once they imprint, it means that they're going to follow that attachment target around. And it has consequences for later development as well. For example, geese that imprint on humans will then later on, when they reach sexual maturity, try and also mate with humans. And so it's a really, really cute and really interesting observation. So let's have a look at Lorenz's procedure and findings. So his aim was to investigate the mechanisms of imprinting, where young geese follow and form an attachment to the first large moving object they meet upon hatching. The procedure, so I've put this little picture here to help you remember exactly what he did. So Lorenz took a large clutch of goose eggs and he divided them in two. Half of the eggs he hatched naturally with the mother. So if you like, this is the control condition. So he just kept them with the mother. And the other half, he hatched them artificially. So he put them in an incubator to keep them warm and safe. And he made sure that he himself was the first large moving object that the hatchlings encountered. And so, if you like, half of the eggs hatched by the mother imprinted on the mother, and half of the eggs imprinted on Lorenz. Then, to look at this imprinting further, once they hatched, he marked their backs, so he put ink on their backs, and so he knew which ones were hatched by the mother and which ones were hatched by him. And he put them underneath an upturned cardboard box. So he just put them all in together, all mixed up, and then put a cardboard box over the top of them, just like this guy in the cardboard box here. And then he lifted up the box and he observed what happened. And this is what happened. Immediately after hatching, the naturally hatched baby goslings ran to their mother once they were released from the box, while the incubated hatchlings imprinted Lorenz and followed him around, completely ignoring their mother. He found that imprinting occurs between this critical period of 4 to 25 hours after hatching. And so this is that window of opportunity that we spoke about earlier, where imprinting must occur. If the geese are not exposed to a large moving object within 4 to 25 hours, then they will not imprint. And this means that they're not following around an attachment figure who's going to keep them safe and fed and warm. And realistically, that means they're probably not going to survive. That other interesting finding is that imprinting affects later sexual development. So the goslings who imprinted onto humans, like Lorenz, would later attempt to mate with humans. And we've seen lots of really interesting findings here about peacocks who try and mate with rubber gloves and all sorts of things because they've imprinted on that object. So, what can we conclude about this, and what does this mean for attachment in humans? Well, the main conclusions were that imprinting is a form of attachment. It's exhibited by birds that leave the nest quite early, whereby the close contact is kept with the first large moving object that the hatchlings encounter. So, Lorenz was really the first person to define and explain imprinting. He found that imprinting is restricted to a finite period of time. He said that this was the critical period, so 4 to 25 hours. Imprinting must occur in this time, otherwise the infant, or in this case the baby geese, will not imprint and will likely not survive. And he therefore claimed that imprinting, and therefore by extension attachment, is biological and innate. That there is an inbuilt mechanism imprinted in our DNA that leads to this type of attachment forming. And so some things that we could take maybe to human attachment here is that there is some sort of biological mechanism also underpinning attachment in humans. The fact that this imprinting happened so soon after hatching means that it couldn't have been learned. These goslings had to hatch being primed and ready to imprint on that first large moving object that they see. So therefore it's not learned. It must be biological and it must be innate.